Mike. I'm a Norse pagan, and this is Walking with the Old Gods. I enjoy making these videos. I hope that what I talk about can bring some strength and peace and love into someone's life, and just touch somebody. When I first started practicing, and when I found Norse paganism and Asatru, and when I started reading the Eddas and the lore and honoring my gods and my goddesses, and as pagans and heathens, you know, when you feel it gives a love for you. Inside it, to me, it was almost like seeing through a child's eyes again. I started seeing like beauty in nature that I forgot about, and beauty in people that I forgot about, and all I wanted to do was talk about it because it made me feel so good. I was so happy and excited. I found this peace and this love and this strength. And it's a big reason why I started my channel, because I just want to talk about it all the time because it makes me feel so good. So because in the lore in our Eddas and with the 9 noble virtues that we follow, you know, with the love that we feel for our family, the first thing I wanted to do, and in some of my videos I've talked about things that I've experienced in my life, and you know, family members know that I've gone through some trials, and the first thing I wanted to do was tell people in my family that of this great peace and this love that I found. The only problem is that they all have another religious belief, and I think they think that I'm out in the woods under the full moon naked worshiping a goat. And so I had to find another venue. I love talking about Norse paganism and Asatru. And to inspire people and make someone feel good is what I really like to do. And there's an author of some books that I read, and his name's Brian Wilton. He served in the United States military, and some of the books that he's written that I have found great peace and strength in and love. There's The Soldier's Edda. This is by Brian Wilton. And Asatru is really involved with the military, and for veterans, there's actually a lot of resources here for veterans who are struggling with post-traumatic stress syndrome and any other problems they may be having. Then there's another book here by Brian Wilton, and it's called Asatru Awakening, and it's a very inspirational book. It's given me a lot of strength by reading this. And then there's another one. It's a daily devotional, and it's called the Asatru Book of Days. It's by Brian Wilton, and inside also it has a place for notes when you read your devotional, and you can put down daily notes, keep track of your day and how the verses from the Eddas have inspired you. And I recently started an Instagram account, and it's been great connecting with other fellow believers. You know, I can't believe how many people are out there. There's so many great people that I've met, but there is one person who I would like to just give an acknowledgement to, and his Instagram account is under Proud Bearded Heathen. And before I had my Instagram account, my Shield Maiden would send me his post through text message. She would send me his post, and a lot of times at my work, because of the COVID-19, a lot of it was a slow time, and I would just be sitting in my office, and then my Shield Maiden would send me one of Proud Bearded Heathen's posts, and it would just make me feel so good. He posted such great positive things. And when I started my Instagram account, he was the first person I followed. So if you get a chance, check out some of his posts and give him a like. He has some great stuff he posts. He's very knowledgeable. What I'd like to talk about today are the 9 noble virtues. And the one I'd like to talk about is courage. And there's actually a situation in my life right now where I've had to find courage to address a situation that's happened, and I had to speak to somebody about this situation who's caused me a lot of problems over the past years. And I really had to be firm on what I said, and I prayed to Odin for his strength, wisdom, and knowledge to guide me with my words, and I prayed to Freya for her strength and her love to guide me in my words and to help my heart and my on inside while I dealt with this. And in the lore, our gods and our goddesses, they don't promise miracles. They happen, but they don't promise miracles. And in the Havamal, in verse 145, Odin, the Havamal, of course, is the words of Odin. Odin says, "Better to ask too little than offer too much. The offering must match the gift. Better it not be sent for than be overspent for." So, what we do as pagans, Norse pagans, heathens, Asatru, is we pray to our gods and our goddesses to guide us with strength, with courage, with love for the battles that we face today. And the early people who worshipped our gods and our goddesses, they had different battles, but we have battles too that we have to face. And there's a story from one of the lays, a poem. It's a Hymir's poem or Hymir's lay, or the Heimsk Vita. And Snorri Sturluson in the Prose Edda gives a really good account of this poem, this lay. And in this, what happens are the gods, they decide to have a feast. And they go and they talk to and compel the giant Egger to prepare this feast for them. However, cunningly Egger, he demands an enormous cauldron to brew beer for this feast. And they can obtain this from the giant Hymir. And of course, there is some peril and danger in obtaining this. And Tyr and Thor, they set out to obtain this huge cauldron to brew beer for this enormous feast. And there's so much lessons to be learned from this poem, from this lay. You could go on and on. I can make several videos about it. But dealing with courage in itself, for Thor to go into Hymir's hall was a great act of courage, and for Hymir to accept Thor into his hall was an act of courage on Hymir's part, because Thor was the Jotun slayer, the giant slayer, and Hymir graciously accepted him into his hall. Well, like I said, this lay goes on. I'm going to skip over some of it because you can make a lot of videos that has great stories in it. But eventually what happens is Hymir tells Thor, tomorrow we must live on food that we hunt for ourselves. So they set out to go fishing. Now before this happened, Hymir told Thor to go get some bait, and Thor goes out and he takes an ox by the head and tears its head off, and he's going to use that for bait. And throughout this poem, this lay, Hymir continuously views Thor as this tiny, puny person. As Hymir's an enormous Jotun. And they get on the boat and they row out to sea. And Hymir casts his line out and he pulls in two whales. And Thor says, I want to row out farther. So Thor's rowing out farther and farther, and Hymir's eventually begging him, stop, Thor, stop. You're going to go out into the waters where the world serpent is, which is exactly what Thor wanted. So Thor gets the ox head, puts it on the hook, throws it out, and pulls it in, and sure enough, he pulls up Jormungandr, the world serpent. Pulls it onto the boat, grabs his hammer, his Mjolnir, and starts to attack it. There's Hymir, this great, huge giant who was viewing Thor as this puny person, is now cowered in the corner in the boat while Thor wrestles with Jormungandr. And the fight ensues, and eventually Hymir gets his knife and cuts Thor's fishing line, so Jormungandr, the world serpent, can get loose, and Hymir's thankful for his life and rows back to shore. But in that poem, in that lay, it just shows size doesn't matter. It's courage. It's what's in us. It's in our heart. It's what's the strength that we have to face our challenges. And as Norse pagans, as heathens, as Asatruers, that is a non-noble virtue that we live by. To face life's challenges with courage, and for our gods and our goddesses to help us with these challenges, which they do because we're very connected with them. They will help us with strength. They will protect us. They'll guard us. They'll protect. They'll help us with love to face our challenges with courage. And that's about all I wanted to say for this video. I speak on courage, one of the non-noble virtues. And like I always say, I really enjoy making these videos. I can't wait to do my next one. And I just want to thank you so much for watching. We'll see you the next time.